definitely a weird fight. I think the weirdest shit that ever happened to me at a bar involved Keshi. And this is just typical women behavior. So this this really tall girl, she's probably like borderline 6 foot, right? Ran up to me and was like, "Oh my God, Sean, hello!" And I was like, "Oh, hello!" Because I knew her, right? She was gorgeous. I had known her since she was like yay high, right? And but now she's like yay high. Like eyes were at titty level, and I was like, "Yo, cool." But yeah, we were at a bar or a club even. We were at a club, and she ran up to me and cuddled me and was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here. What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I'm just hanging out." And then I went to turn around to tell Keshi who she was, and Keshi had already ran away with the other girls to the bathroom. She was crying. And the other girls had hyped her up to go fight her, and I was like, "What?" What? So Keshi comes out the bathroom. I didn't know this, by the way. She comes out the bathroom absolutely raging, and I was like, "Keshi, look, I'm not gonna say her name. Ex-girl from down the street who went to school with my little sister, and I used to babysit her. Like, there wasn't much of an age gap between us, but I was old enough, you know, that if the police were called." Like, if the police were called, I was counted as semi-responsible. So, before I even got to do that, she started raging at me. It's like, "How dare you hug this random girl? What, have you been dating her? Like, who is she? Like, what, blah, 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 blah." And like fucking full meltdown mode. Absolute full meltdown mode. And I was like, and then I explained to her that this is a girl I used to babysit. And she was like, well, you could have told me." I was like, "How can I tell you? You already ran away." You already ran away. But it was the other girl's fault. The other girls antagonized her into thinking it was something worse than it was. To be fair, at that time, I don't blame them, because I was a little bit of a Jack the Lad. I mean, Keshi had only been dating a few years, and like, I had a habit of like chasing other girls, so like it was, you know, she had good reasoning. She did have good reasoning. So like, but the girls, this was the wrong fight to fight. Yeah, there was a precedent for it. Yeah. What usual scenario was, girl likes me. Girl sees that Keshi's a bit crazy. Girl moves in and is like, "You know, you don't need to be with her." Oh, whoa. And I would be like, "You know what? You're really hot and I'm really drunk, and this makes sense. Let me think on this." Let me think on this. And it would always be girls that knew me. Like, it would be girls like I work with, or it would be girls that like were in my friend circles. And they would always just be like, "You know, I'm pretty cute too." And I'd be like, "Yeah." But Keshi had the upper hand, right? Especially when Keshi was in her early 20s. She was 10 out of 10 hot. And she was, you know, the hot crazy level? Like, she was way up there in the hot crazy level. So, like, I would go to meet up with her to break her up, and then Keshi would just be like, And I'd be like, "What do you mean, And then, like, we would be under the covers, and then that would be it. And then I would be tricked. I'd be tricked again. I mean, she's still hot, but, like, obviously when she was in her 20s, early 20s, you know, like, Keshi was a bit more like, wow. Just wiggle her booty at me, and I'd be like, "Oh my goodness." Hey, like, none of us are spring chickens no more, okay? But It's fine. This is so that's where the precedent from that comes from. Like, so it's fine. Like she had a good reason to rage at me, but it was in a bar, right? So while all this, by the way, to point out, while this was happening, we had an audience. Like we were like on the upper floor of a place called the Cat House. There was only about 40 people there. Most of them were watching us, including the bar staff. It was a little bit embarrassing. It was a little bit embarrassing. On the plus side, though, everybody remembered it, so it was okay. Yeah. Yep, the fucking Cat House. I have so much drama from the Cat House. I've been kicked out of there more times than I can count. I don't think I was doing anything malicious. I was just really drunk a lot and just being like very overly social. Mostly, I think. I that's what I remember anyway. Yeah, don't stick your dick in crazy unless it's hot, then like go for it. Like
Yikes.
They balance out eventually.
No.
Okay, that's true. Keshi's still crazy. But if Keshi wasn't crazy, she wouldn't let me be a whore on the internet for you guys. So, a funny whore.